The movie begins with Liam, simply known as Thug, a former boxer turned mob enforcer, recalling how his father forced him to fight his neighborhood bully to prove himself as a man. Liam, in turn, beat the bully's ass. Why not, if your dad tells you to? Liam accompanies his boss's young son, Kyle, to a fish market to broker a deal with some gangsters who want some product moved. Kyle asks about the product, but the gangsters remind him he's not his daddy and that his name carries no weight. Kyle quickly backpedals and backs down from the men, even apologizing, to Liam's disappointment. The men turn their attention to Liam, calling him a relic. Kyle tells them Liam was the real deal back in his day, but the men don't think much of him. Liam then warns one of the men to stop staring before he rocks his shit. The man wants to fight, but his boss tells him to calm down as the relic's got balls. Outside, Liam suggests that Kyle start acting like a boss if he wishes to become one someday. Liam returns to meet with his boss, Charlie, who runs a fabric store as a cover. Charlie is disappointed with Kyle's deal as he didn't get a good price. He notes that Kyle looks up to Liam as a gangster but is just not cut out for the gangster world like they are. Liam thinks he just needs guidance and, in the moment, forgets Charlie's name, claiming he's been having some bad headaches due to lack of sleep. Outside in his car, Liam writes down Charlie's name. Liam then visits his local boxing gym to blow off some steam and is pitted against a younger boxer. Liam rocks his shit, but a knock to his head disorients him, and he takes a beating. Afterwards, the gym coach finds Liam sitting alone in the dark. He swears he is fine but has to be reminded to collect money for Charlie. Later, Liam is in a bar having a drink when he hears a man arguing with a woman. He goes over, asking the man to take his shit outside, but when the man tells Liam to fuck off, he gets his jawbone rearranged and an early bedtime. Liam leaves, and the woman follows him, revealing that the man was her boyfriend and now she wants Liam to follow her home. Liam ends up tearing those cheeks up and spending the night in her apartment. He knocked dude out and ends up tearing his woman's cheeks, the level of disrespect. Liam leaves early the next morning but becomes disoriented and lost, eventually using a landmark to find his way home. Liam gets a call from Charlie to visit Dr. Gruber and has to check his notes to recall the address. He heads over to collect some medication. He tells the doctor about his memory issues, and the doctor suggests that he get it checked out. He gets a brain scan done and soon learns that he is suffering from chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a disease developed normally by boxers and athletes. He asks about a cure, but there is no cure for his condition, which is expected to rapidly decline. The doctor asks about his family and suggests that he reach out to them, as soon he will be unable to take care of himself. Liam refuses to accept this, but learning he has only a few years left, he shuts down. He drives to the docks later that day, unable to accept the news, deciding to end himself and go out on his own terms. At that moment, a family pulls alongside him, and seeing the little girl, he remembers his daughter Daisy. He calls her that night and asks to come see her, but Daisy refuses to see him as they have not been on good terms. He asks about his son Colin, unable to recall his name, but is shocked to learn that he died 2 years ago and no one told him. Afterwards, Liam beats himself up for not remembering his son's name. He visits Colin's grave and has to clear away the overgrown grass covering his headstone. Despite the earlier rejection, Liam tracks down Daisy's address where she is not pleased to see him, telling him to fuck off. Liam ignores that and invites her and her family to join him for dinner. Liam meets both his grandkids and has a little chat with his grandson Dre about his love for football. Daisy tells him not to pretend with her now, as she recalls him being a terrible father to her. Liam accepts this and asks her to think about the dinner. That night Liam is sleeping when he has a vivid dream or hallucination that he is with his father in a sailboat. His father tells him he is no longer mad at him, and Liam feels relieved and starts to smile like a kid again. Liam runs into Cheeks once more, and the two go for a walk. After tearing up the sheets that night, he asks about her scars and learns that they are cigarette burns she got from her ex. Liam checks the time and has to leave for a mission to New York. Cheeks wants a goodbye kiss, but Liam doesn't have time for that nonsense and leaves. Liam travels with Kyle for the product move. Kyle asks him for the best route into the city, but Liam cannot remember and plays it off. They get to the pickup spot and see a moving truck parked next to them, and a man signals to them. Liam wants to move the product alone, but Kyle insists on coming with him. They collect the keys for the truck and head out, and Kyle wants to know what they are pulling, but Liam tells him he doesn't want to know. They soon spot a cop car, and Kyle begins to freak out. Liam tells him to get on the floor, as he doesn't want the cop to pass and see Kyle crapping his pants. Liam forces him to get down just as the cop passes, and the cop soon pulls away. Kyle isn't pleased with the disrespect and threatens to tell his father what Liam did, but Liam tells him respect is earned. Kyle still thinks that Liam has been trying to hold him back and has been talking down about him with his dad, but Liam thinks his constant nose candy is getting to his brain. They deliver the truck to the address. Kyle wants to get out, but Liam stops him, reminding him the men don't want them seeing their cargo. Just then, they hear a scream, and a girl rushes to Liam's door begging him for help, but she is soon dragged away to rejoin the other girls. The entire scene shocks Liam, and he finds his hand shaking. He goes back to visit Daisy, who is at Dre's football game. Daisy is not fond of seeing him but allows him to stick around. After the game, Liam gifts Dre an old fishing reel. Dre stays behind to watch the other game, so Daisy leaves. Later, Liam gives Dre a ride home. Dre recalls his mom telling him that Liam was in prison, but Liam simply tells him he did a lot of stupid things in his past. Dre wonders if he is still doing stupid things, like running out on his family like Daisy told him, but Liam doesn't respond. When Dre asks him what boxing is like, Liam lights up. He takes Dre to the boxing gym he visits, and Dre learns that Liam was a dangerous boxer back in his day. They watch a spar, and Dre soon develops an interest in boxing, having Liam train him after school in the evenings. That night, as Liam sleeps, he has the same vivid dream sailing with his father on the ocean. He then sees the same girl beg him for help and asks his father if guys like them belong at the bottom of the ocean, to which his dad says yes. He wakes, still visioning water in his room and seeing the girl's blood on his hands. Liam recalls how his father never allowed him on his boat without him being there, but when his father got arrested on Saturday night, he decided to take the boat out, hoping his father would never notice. His dad noticed and never took him fishing again. Liam heads over to the place where he dropped off the girls, where he tells the boss, Jimmy, he wanted to get one of his girls. Jimmy takes him to a room filled with girls and chooses the one that begged him for help that night. The two head to a room. She is prepared to have her cheeks clapped, but Liam stops her. He asks her about her family in the USA, but she explains that her family knows as she was handed over in exchange for owing a $20,000 debt. She shows him a picture of her daughter, but Liam doesn't think he can help her and leaves. As he is driving, he gets a call from Charlie about a meeting with a priest. Liam spots the priest walking along the roadside and pulls up alongside him, but the priest ignores him. Liam cuts him off to confront him and finds the priest hiding inside a box truck. The priest unwillingly hands over a stack of $20,000 cash. The priest leaves when suddenly he is shot in the head. Liam hears the attackers talk about hitting the wrong target. One man comes to check the truck, but Liam knocks his ass out. He ambushes the other man and gives him the same treatment, but a shooter manages to graze him. Liam crawls into his car and throws it into reverse, hitting the last man. Liam demands to know who hired them, but the man refuses to talk as he is going to die anyway. Liam threatens to find out where he lives and take out his family too, so the man explains that he was hired by a man with a spider tattoo on his neck. Liam aims his gun at the man but changes his mind and leaves. Liam drives to Charlie's home but sits in his car. Realizing that he is now a target and has $20,000 sitting in his car, a very dangerous idea crosses his mind. Despite this, Liam goes to hand over the money to Charlie, who is impressed that he survived the attack, but Liam calls them amateurs. He heads back home only to be greeted by Cheeks, who explains that she went through his wallet and found his address. Liam tells her to leave, but she insists on following him anyway. Inside, Cheeks sees papers about Liam's condition and seems genuinely concerned. She sits with him in the empty house. Liam blatantly tells her that they won't end well, but Cheeks knows this and decides to take whatever nut he has left. The next morning, Liam wakes, claiming to hear a guy playing guitar across the street, but Cheeks reveals it's only in his head. Liam plans to take Daisy and Dre out to dinner and invites Cheeks to join them. Liam and Cheeks turn up to the dinner, and he is worried that Daisy and Dre won't show. A few hours later, Liam is stoned and angry that his family didn't show. He tells the waiter to F off when they try to take the table and begins to lose his temper. As they leave, Liam cannot even recall who was supposed to meet them, asking about his dead son. The next day, Liam is sleeping when some voices wake him. He comes out to see Daisy, who now knows that he is sick due to Cheeks, who called her. Liam angrily demands that Cheeks leave his house and raises his fist at her, but Cheeks holds her ground. Unfortunately, Dre sees all this and leaves disappointed. Liam wonders why she never came to dinner, but Daisy explains that she is packing up to move out of her apartment. Liam offers to help, but Daisy can take care of herself. She then offers to help Liam find a doctor who could help him out before leaving. That night, Liam wakes and is freaking out as everything around him is spooking him. He tries to call someone but cannot recall their name. He goes into the bathroom, mumbling to himself about the man with the spider tattoo, but begins crashing out in the bathroom, beating himself up. The next day he turns up to Daisy wanting to talk to Dre. He tells Dre that his anger was wrong and wants Dre not to be like him, but Dre leaves without saying a word. That night Liam is again beating himself up, calling himself an idiot. He sits in his car, planning how to ask Charlie for a 40 grand loan. He heads inside and meets with the boss, who reveals that he found out Liam may have a brain disease. Liam tries to play it off, but Charlie tells Liam he has to let him go. Liam pleads for his job, but when Charlie asks him to recall his phone number and his address, Liam cannot do so. He thinks that after 30 years, Charlie would have some pity, but Charlie tells him it's too risky, and Kyle asks if he needs directions. As Liam leaves, he notices the guy at the door has a spider neck tattoo and knocks him out. He confronts Kyle for hiring the shooters, but Charlie seems to know about this also, telling Liam to walk away. In a split second, Liam pulls his gun, demanding that Charlie open his safe. He even shoots Kyle to show he is serious, and Charlie begs for his life. Liam has Charlie bag up his cash and guns. He cannot believe Charlie would do him like that and aims his gun at the boss's head, and Charlie begs for his life, asking Liam to walk away. Liam tells Charlie to sit before shooting him dead and leaving. He rushes over to his lawyer, putting things into place to put a down payment on a home for Daisy and to help her with everything. Liam reveals where he got the cash, and the lawyer tells him good luck. He tries to call Cheeks but doesn't get her, so he heads over to her apartment. In the bathroom, he finds her almost passed out with cigarette burns all over her. Liam brings her to bed, dresses her wounds, and apologizes for messing things up. He then lays down beside her, comforting her. Liam heads over to Jimmy, packs some of the cash into a paper bag, and grabs his gun. Inside he tells Jimmy he wants to talk business. He wants to buy one of the girls. He shows Jimmy the 30,000 he counted out, but when he describes the girl he wants, Jimmy tells him she's not for sale. Turns out the girl has died after one of Jimmy's clients got carried away. Liam pulls his gun and holds Jimmy at gunpoint, forcing him to tell his bodyguard to go home. Liam then has Jimmy free all the girls and pay each of them a stack of cash. A gunman enters, but when Liam shoots him dead, Jimmy stabs him multiple times in the stomach. Jimmy goes to finish Liam off, but one of the girls blows his brain out. She tries to help, but Liam tells her to leave. He struggles to his feet, clutching his wound. He manages to drive to Daisy's and calls out to Dre, telling him to stand back. He explains that Dre will hear some bad things about him in a few days, but thinks he did it for a good reason. Liam is weakening, and Dre rushes to him, holding his bloody hand. He tells Dre to go back inside before driving to his home. He struggles out of the car and heads inside the home, where he always hears the guitar calling for anyone. He collapses in one of the rooms. A bright light floods the room, and Liam slowly fades away with a smile on his face.